Gamers! This is not a video about games, but I like the way Naboris says it, and it is now my default intro if I can't think of anything else. I guess I could kind of get away with comparing today's video topic to Two Truths and a Lie, which is kind of like a game, and I'm a known gamer and pathological liar. I want to be clear that while I do enjoy lying and do it often, it is never to cover up something I did, protect others' feelings, persuade others to do my bidding, or any of the other negative connotations that come with the idea of lying. Today, I'll be talking about a bond I share with my dad. We both enjoy lying. Both my parents were about 20 years old when I was born, and that means I was raised by children. Both of them are literal goofballs. And I've gone 20 plus years observing what they do, say, and how they interact with the world around them. My dad often says we grew up together, because it's true. And it's because of this that I picked up what some might call a bad habit. But I don't mind this bad habit. I love it even. There was a moment in my life that I'll never forget. I watched my dad tell many jokes as a child. He would say things that would have the most stoic of humans cackling. So as a young, impressionable child, I found that to be the way of socializing. I went to my room, got my handy-dandy little notebook, and started drafting some ideas. I workshopped the hell out of the joke I was going to tell. I did research. I watched a couple YouTube videos. I studied the art of delivery, cadence, rhythm, everything. I even observed what my dad's friends found funny and implemented those elements into my material. Every night when I got home from school, I was working on this bit until finally I had perfected the perfect joke. Problem was, it was situational. I understood that in order to get this joke off, there had to be a reason for me to tell it. So I waited. I waited months. I'm playing with other kids at gatherings pretending to have fun while secretly listening to every adult conversation in a 10-mile radius. I was on the hunt. I wanted that shit bad. And one day, the opportunity presented itself. Through all the chatter in the room, I hear the verbal cue I'd been searching for all that time. Could it be? I thought to myself. Quickly, I stop everything I'm doing. I run over to my dad, poke him in the side, tug on his shirt a little bit, look him dead in the eyes, and say the funniest shit I had ever thought of in my short little life. This motherfucker's mouth didn't even twitch. I've never seen my dad look more disappointed. The room went silent, only to be cut moments later with the, "What?" from one of my dad's friends. As I waited for my dad to give me his approval, it never came, and the room returned to normal. Thank God I didn't know what embarrassment was at the time, because I would have changed the lives of everyone at that shindig. Anyway, my dad pulls me aside. He goes, valiant effort, son. But the goal of telling a joke is that it shouldn't be hard. It should come naturally. You don't have to try to be funny. If it's funny, then you'll know. Changed my perspective. So I went back to the drawing board with this valuable information that I was missing at the start. I watched every comedian you could think of. I paid more attention to why jokes were funny and not how. I took the knowledge I had gained and applied it years later in a similar situation. I heard my cue. I run over to the center of the goddamn room. I practically yelled the joke. I was going to be heard. Killed them. You would have thought I had auntie trapped in a basement with a fucking tickle monster. That feeling of validation is a feeling that I'll never forget. But I needed approval. In the midst of my ovation, I looked to my father. Did I do it? Are you proud? We lock eyes. He goes, "Bitch, fuck you." Over time, I got better at it. I desired less to be heard one time by everyone and instead opted to make more targeted niche jokes to specific people. Because I learned as I observed that is what my dad was doing. It wasn't that he was telling a joke to a stadium. He was saying something he thought was funny out loud to people who also might have found it funny. There were so many elements at play, but at its core, that's what it was. But that's enough yapping for now. Bottom line, I learned the art of riffing. That's when the bullshitting started. There comes a point in a kid's life where their parents or other adults around them lose their filter. Because the adult knows that by this point, you've lived a little. They don't have to protect you from the world. You've seen the obscene, you've heard worse. This is also the case for jokes. Because I understood more, I unlocked a new dad. And he's told me this before. Because I remember watching Family Guy or Futurama together, he'd be laughing and I wouldn't be. I'd ask, what's funny, bitch? And he'd say, it's some grown-up shit. And he was right. It wasn't like he was trying to deflect. If he had to explain the joke, first off, that's weird. Secondly, it still would not have been funny to me. But as I got older, I understood more. And as I understood more, it got way too easy to say the first thing that came to my mind. Which, by the way, for the uninitiated, is a gamble. Some things are better left unsaid, especially if it's the first thought. And I don't care how funny you think it is, do not say it out loud. Just chuckle to yourself, accept the fact that you look and sound insane for doing so, and move on like the rest of us. And when someone asks, tee-hee, what? Die with it. Where am I at my story? Yes, the Art of Riffing. So I have the same programmed humor as my dad now because I'm pushing 30. Damn. And nowadays, having my dad and I in the same room together is like having the same person stand in different spots on the floor. If he says something, I got his follow-up. If I say something, he got my follow-up. Most of the time, we're purposefully alley-ooping one another. Jokes about certain situations that have happened to us mixed with a bunch of things that never happened. And there's so many of those types of jokes that it's hard to keep track of what actually happened. We bullshit so much, people tell us, oh, remember when you said this? And our response is, I probably did. Because we talk so much hogwash that we can't keep up. Dude, me and my dad will go to the grocery store, interact with some nice old lady, and we'll walk away and craft a lore book on her. One line at a time, we will build a world in which that lady does not actually exist. But it's funny to think about it because it's probably so far from the truth that it's absurd. And that shit is so fun. And it stems from the most mundane pieces of the actual story. Here's an example. Me and my dad went to the gun range. Mind you, this is our first time being at this gun range. Lots of things happen, but the most important bits is our safety instructor spoke to us a few times out of instructions, so casual conversation. And now when I'm telling this story to my stepmom, I start with, my boy Bill was kicking it with us. First of all, I never learned his name. Secondly, he was getting paid to do his job. He was not kicking it with us in the slightest. I'm literally lying for my own benefit because I find it hilarious to think that this 60-plus-year-old veteran is chopping it up with me when the most I got out of him was an inappropriate joke that I heard him tell 9 other times to 13 different people before getting to us and delivering it in the exact same way. No build up, no cue, and not looking for approval. That's why I fucks with Bill. He's so real for that. Unapologetically, Bill. Example 2. My dad has 2 dogs named Bruno and Snow. Side note, their fictitious full names are Brunswick and Snowman. Bruno is a mid-sized lanky mutt with a small brain. Snow is a federal agent hiding in a fursuit, waiting for his time to strike. And when the time comes, he'll stand on 2 legs, unzip, revealing his true identity. My stepmother's niece. There's a long history of how we got to this point in this story. Truth be told, I don't remember when it got to this point, but just know it's a fake story we made up one day. And then we combined it with another fake timeline, and this is the result. And last but not least, example number 3. Number 3, my lord. The very first story I told you at the beginning of this video. If I had just told you the true parts, it would have went very quick. So I fluffed parts of the story to build a suspense and emphasize the emotions I felt during my journey. And you fell for it. Look at you. Pathetic. Eating out of the palm of my hands. I've led you to water and you dove into the pond. And you have no one to blame but me. I'll never stop lying. You can't stop me. No one can. Not even Batman. No, Zardam, you can't. Oh, but I can, Batman. There are no laws against storytelling. I can do whatever I want with it. No, Zardam, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm gonna do it, Batman. I get a thrill out of being in character. Not that I don't enjoy being myself, but I will forever and always be me. And it's fun to take a break every now and then and get silly. The world is a scary place. You really have to have tough skin with the way things are. And it's never been a utopia. There's so much negativity surrounding us on a daily basis that if I let that be the only thing I focused on, my life would fucking suck. Us humans have so many avenues for escapism, and one of mine is comedy. I could go on a whole rant, but it's getting a little too dark and serious for me right now. So I'll leave it at this. My dad once told me, if I don't laugh, I'ma cry. And it's the realest shit that he's never wrote. In the same vein, I'm allowed to choose how I want to feel. Therefore, if I want to look into your soul and with a straight face tell you that Bruno's full name is Brunswick, I will. And you don't have to believe me. The fun was already had while pretending I was telling you the truth. But if my acting was super believable and you respond with, really? I will double down because now you exist inside of my domain. But even if for a short while, you are forced to play my game, and I implore you to microdose escapism more with me in the future. Maybe that's why I love media so much. Maybe that's why I've seen and logged over 700 films on Letterboxd and over 300 anime on my anime list. Similar to how I am able to craft these worlds in which do not truly exist using my words as the medium, film and media have been doing the same thing for years. And the great ones able to suspend my disbelief enough to make me feel the emotions of the characters, good or bad, deserve to lie. I know that it's made up. And in reality, what I'm experiencing is a bunch of regular humans doing their best to tell me a believable story. They're attempting to immerse me in their world, not exist in mine. Because this thing we call reality is boring. And I'll be damned if I'm bored to death. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. We're only about 99,854 subscribers away from our silver play button. And if we get there before October 9th, 2025, our 1-year anniversary, I'll spontaneously combust. Let me know in the comments which parts of my comedy journey story you thought were made up, and if I fooled you, like Penn and Teller. And if I did, you must subscribe, because this is my house. These are my rules. Y'all be easy. Have a great one.